Hey guys, today I'm going to help you replace a cartridge on a Progetto Minimo Basin Mixer M002. Now the first thing we do is we have got to make sure that the mains water is off, the supply is off. Sometimes there are stop taps down underneath the bench, or you turn the mains off to the house, which is the safest option. Okay, so the tools I need is an adjustable wrench. I've just got a damp cloth here and an Allen key set. So first thing we'll do is have a look underneath the handle. There's a little cap which we can pick out. You can use your fingernail or you can use a knife, but it comes out pretty easily. So we can put that aside. In here there's an inspection hole. Inside there is a grub screw that holds it onto the cartridge shaft. So inside there will be a M5 grub screw with a 3mm hex on the inside of it. So we use a 3mm Allen key. So we just insert it inside there and give it a couple of turns and the handle will come straight off. So there we can see the grub screw. Okay, so now this is where the damp cloth comes into play. This here can be quite tight if it's an older one. It can be corroded on a wee bit, or sometimes these rings here, the dress ring, can be stuck on with a bit of water residue, which would be calcium or lime buildup. So what we'll do is we'll just drape our wet cloth over there, and nice and easy with even pressure you can just loosen it off. Sometimes you can get 2 thumbs and 2 fingers and an even pressure on it and bring it round with the help of gripping it with the wet cloth. There we go, that comes off. Okay, now just another reminder, please make sure your water is turned off. And this is where the adjustable wrench is used. So we've got this brass piece here is a nut, and that holds the cartridge down. So the first thing we do is we just wind it in nice and tight. And before I do this, there's another use for this cloth. You can drape it over the spout so that you don't scratch it with the adjustable wrench. So what you do is you carefully put the adjustable wrench like so and pull it round carefully and simply undo it. Now you'll feel a little bit of resistance due to the fact that there'll be an O-ring underneath there that's could be possibly quite tight. So just make sure that we keep our cloth up against the nut so that we don't scratch it. When it becomes loose enough, you can then just put your adjustable wrench right on top there, just to keep it away from scratching this, and undo it. Now this here should come straight off. It may bring the cartridge with it. There we go. Okay, so in this particular case the cartridge came with the nut due to the fact that there's a little O-ring inside here. So here's your cartridge, and here is the nut that goes on it. So always double check down there, make sure that that's nice and clean down inside there. And then we can put our cartridge back in. In this particular case it's a brand new one, so I can just put it straight back in. So it's got to make sure it's centered. Here's the 2 locator pins here, and they just go down onto the corresponding females down inside on the base there. And then we put if you've got some tire silicone, that's better, just to make it nice and slippery so that when it goes on it's not stiff like when it was coming off. So I'm just going to hand tighten that down there. Now a little tip, I make sure I hold it with one finger so that it's hard down onto the seat, and then use my other hand to carefully start the nut and tighten it up. Rightio, so then we get in this case I'll wind it around with the tips of the jaws of the adjustable spanner carefully until it gets too much resistance to do it like that. Spout protector, and then now when you do this back up, press it round. It just needs to be firm. So now that the cartridge is all in, we can leave that there. We can put this back on. Now this only needs to be hand tight. It did come off, it was quite stiff when it first came off. It's good to have it just hand tight because it's only a dress ring. It's not under any load or anything. Now sometimes it can be a little bit of a trick to start the thread. There we go. Right, so that's just hand tight. Now here is my handle, my grub screw and the Allen key. Now in this case I took it out completely. So I'm just going to insert it through there and start it with about a half a turn or so. You don't want it too much because otherwise if it pokes through there too much, it'll grab on the handle, so I'll just back that off a wee bit. There we go. And you can see where that one already gripped on there with a little indent. So just make sure that goes right on properly. Sometimes this could be a plastic one, sometimes it'll be a metal one. It doesn't matter, it's just different models of cartridge. So then we can turn the tap on like so. Insert our Allen key. So as you turn the Allen key, hold the handle down onto the cartridge spigot and just turn it until it goes tight. To make it nice and tight, you insert this part for a bit more leverage. So don't over tighten, just nice and firm. Then we can put our indicator back in, or our bung. There we go, it's all done. So I recommend to go and turn the water on, come back, check it. There will be some air come out of the system, so you'll have to bleed the system. My recommendation is to turn it on about half to bleed the air, because if you turn it on full, sometimes the air can rush through and blow the aerator out. So I just turn it on half and just let the air drain of itself, and then put it on to full noise after that. Then try it with one side, then the other side, make sure all the air's out, and you're all good to go.